Hello everyone. Wish you a very good morning. I, Dr. Kalpesh Popat, welcome you all for today's webinar on Cloud Computing Fundamentals, organized by Faculty of Computer Applications, Marwadi University, Rajkot. Today's speaker, Dr. Sunil Bajeja, is a doctorate in computer science and having more than 20 years of experience in the education field. He is currently working as Associate Professor at Faculty of Computer Applications, Marwadi University, Rajkot. His areas of interest are operating systems, COA, and cloud computing. This webinar will cover fundamental aspects of cloud computing environment. We'll also provide you with an email where you can download your e-certificate. We'll send you the certificate link within 5 working days. In case if you have any doubts during the session, kindly write your queries in the chat window. At the end of the session, we try to cover all the questions. Thank you all. Over to Professor Sunil Bajeja.
Thank you, Dr. Kalpesh. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. So, is this screen visible?
Yes, sir, screen is visible.
Okay, so dear friends, today I'm going to take this session on cloud computing fundamentals. This particular session, I hope it will clarify the basic idea about uh, cloud computing. So deeper context of this cloud computing is not that. The main objective of today's session is just to make you aware about the cloud computing and what it is, what are the benefits of it. So I hope this will be the very much helpful to you if you want to uh, have your career in the field of cloud computing. So its punchline is when it is smarter to rent than to buy. So here you need to take up the cloud computing in picture. Let us take some simple examples. Uh, See, all of you might be using Google Photos to store your photographs, and you might be using Gmail to do the professional communication. You might be using Google Drive to store your files. You might be using Netflix for your entertainment purpose. Too many applications are available nowadays. All these applications are supported by a technology which is called cloud computing. So what is this cloud computing and all that we will try to cover up. So I hope this is the base which will make you clear that what we are going to discuss in this session, because all the cloud-based applications all of you are using in one or the other way. So what is cloud computing? So in simple terms, you can say that we have the large number of computers which are connected with each other, and that connection is possible through internet only. So wherever multiple computers or a large number of computers are connected with each other in a network manner through internet, it is simply considered as a cloud computing. See, this is not a precise definition, but just to start, you can think of that. Suppose you might have heard about LAN, where it is a local area network where some limited number of computers are connected with either cable or wireless medium in a small building or in one room or in laboratory like that. But in case of cloud computing, you have a larger network which is spread across the whole world, and it is connected through the internet. So in simple, if you want to put cloud computing, then you can say that cloud computing is using internet to access someone else's software running on someone else's hardware and in someone else's data center. Now, this is very crucial to understand that in cloud computing, you must need internet connection to access different softwares. For example, you are using Google Photos, you might be using Netflix, right? So these are the softwares which you are using, right? Now, these softwares are not developed by you. You are using someone else's software. Now, there's someone else's software on running on someone else's hardware. So in your particular mobile, whenever you are opening Google Photos, or whenever in your mobile you are opening Netflix application, so that is the software you are running on your machine through certain APIs or certain protocols, but that actual software will be running on certain another computer which is not owned by you. It is your mobile or your instrument is only a place where you are accessing it. Okay. So all these particular things are happening at someone else's data center. So these terminologies are very important to understand, that software is not owned by you, hardware is also not owned by you, and the particular hardware which is located at somewhere, that is also not owned by you. Okay, and whatever these particular things are there, they are spread across whole world, and the environment created using this, it is going to be considered as a cloud computing. And for cloud computing, it is always mandatory to have internet connection, and if you want to use cloud applications, then you must need to have a web browser. Okay, and or you can use through it applications, right? Now see, here this term is very important, data center, because it is the base from where your cloud computing resources are available. So, for example, if you say data center, then you can consider it as a bigger lab where you can have multiple computer systems or multiple computing systems available to you. You have multiple storage devices installed over there. You have multiple network devices installed over there, right? So just for your reference, let me show you a few of the data centers. See, in case of cloud computing, uh, Amazon is a larger player. Same way, Google is also second largest player, and Microsoft is also a player in cloud computing. So let me show you certain locations of this data centers of Amazon. Let us search it in this way: data centers of AWS. Let us see the specific location: data centers of. See, here you can see from the map. These are the different data centers which are either of blue color or red color. Blue color centers are already existing and they are operational. And wherever it is a red dot, it indicates that over there data centers are coming up. So if you zoom this map, right, then you can see that in India also, two data centers are available. One is in Mumbai and second is in Hyderabad. So these two are the data centers of AWS. Same way you can explore for Google also. So Google is also having different data centers available. But in India, Google does not have any data center. So this is just for your reference, that data centers are the larger laboratories where you have multiple computing facilities, multiple storage facilities, and multiple network devices interconnected and installed over there to provide the cloud computing facilities to the users. Now we see the features of cloud computing. See, it is internet-based service, right? So whatever the business applications you need to do or business processes you want to have, all these particular services are only possible through internet. Without internet, you can never think of cloud computing. So this is must. Then rent IT services on a utility-like basis. Now, this is very important feature. See, in my title slide, that punchline was there: when it is smarter to rent than to buy. Now, we are going to answer this. Okay. So rent IT services on a utility-like basis. That means IT services means what? Either you can have compute services. That means instead of purchasing a real computer or real server, you can use the compute services available. Then suppose if you say that you want to have a storage devices, you in your computer you may have some 1 TB or 2 TB of hard disk. But suppose for your business processes, you require larger number of or huge amount of data storage, then you can always get the storage services available from different cloud service providers like Amazon, Google, or Microsoft, and they are on a utility like basis. Now this is very crucial that whatever the IT services are there, they are like utility. See, at our home, we are using electricity. So electricity is at our home for cooking purpose. So
Sunil
whatever,
sir,
yes,
Sunil
yes.
sir, your voice was breaking in between. So you
I
please
think
repeat the.
the issue might be there.
Yes, sir. Please repeat the last statement so that.
Okay. So rent IT services on a utility like basis. So due to that voice issues, I'm repeating this. So a rent IT services means what? Suppose if you want to have the server for your business purpose, so instead of purchasing your own server in the physical form, you need to take that server or you can rent that server from the cloud service providers like Amazon, AWS, Google Cloud, or maybe Microsoft Azure, right? And it is a utility like basis. So utility like basis means what? For example, at home we are using electricity, right? And we are paying for the electricity basis on the usage of our electricity at our home, right? So electricity is one utility. We are using the gas connection at home. So if it is a pipe gas connection, then for that also whatever the amount of gas we are using, we are paying for that. So utility like basis means what? We have to pay for the services for the amount which we are using. So same thing is over here. IT services on a utility like basis means what? That for whatever the amount of time or whatever the amount of period we are using IT services, for that only we need to pay. For example, if I say that I am purchasing one computer, right, or for the server purpose, then that particular server may cost me in certain lakhs of rupees. Okay, but suppose if I rent IT services, that is the compute services, right? For example, we can take Amazon is providing one compute service which is referred as EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud, right? So we can hire that server services or compute services from Amazon, and we have to only pay for the period of usage. Suppose we have used that server for 1 month, so we have to only pay for 1 month, right? So this is what we mean by rent IT services on a utility like basis. So whatever the you can say that services which we are using, either compute services, storage services, network services, security services, whatever the services which we are using from cloud, all are based on utility payment. Then second is attributes of cloud computing: rapid deployment, low startup cost and capital investments, cost based on usage or subscription, multi-tenant sharing of services or resource. So these attributes are quite important to understand. See, rapid deployment means what? Suppose if I have developed one application, now instead of that application is for my business purpose, so instead of installing that application on my personal server and to maintain that server, right, I can use the IT services from any of the cloud service provider, maybe Amazon EC2. There I can deploy that application and it will be available throughout the net to everyone, right? And if I do this, then what will happen? It will be giving me the benefit of the cost saving, right? Because see, I'm not purchasing a computer. What I am doing, I am going to deploy that on a server which is owned by someone else. Okay, so I have to only pay for the period of the usage of that server. Then costs are based on usage or subscription. So that I have covered, right? So here one thing you need to understand that cost based on usage or subscription. So these two things are quite different. To understand this in simple terms, you can compare it with your mobile phones. Sorry, mobile SIM connection, either in prepaid form or postpaid form. In postpaid, what we are doing, we are paying for the usage which we did, basic cost or basic rent plus certain usage which we did. Based on that, we have to pay. And second is what? Prepaid. In prepaid, we are paying in upfront that I will use it for 84 days, and for 84 days, I am paying this amount. So that is the subscription we did. Okay. Then multi-tenant sharing of services or resources. So what do we mean by this? See, whatever the services are available, they are based on the sharing. For example, if I say that I am taking a storage service from Amazon, and that particular storage service can be S3, that is simple storage service. Okay, name of that S3 storage S3 storage is simple storage service. Okay, so Amazon is providing the storage service. In that storage service, you can store your files if you have subscribed it. Okay, so whatever that particular storage is there, it is not only for you. Okay, suppose you are purchasing that service, that doesn't mean that it is owned by you, but that particular storage service is shared by all the particular users. For example, we take one small figure that 1 TB storage is available with AWS. So out of that 1 TB, suppose you require only 100 GB. So out of 1 TB, 100 GB is allocated to you, and you will be charged for that 100 GB only. Then suppose you are some another user is requiring the 500 GB of storage. So out of 1 TB, 100 GB is for you, 500 GB is given to some other user, and that other user will be charged based on that thing. So single hard disk or single storage is there, but the single storage is given as a service to multiple users based on their requirements. Okay, so this is what we mean by multi-tenant sharing of services or resources. Then the essential characteristics of cloud computing. This is very important to understand. See, whenever you are using cloud computing, then it is on-demand self-service, right? Means what? That whatever the cloud computing resources you want to have, you have to manage it on your own, and whatever you will be requiring, that only you have to do. See, on demand. So you require 100 GB, you request for 100 GB, but that is self-service based. No one will come to you and they will do the process on your behalf. That these things are to be taken care by you only. Then second characteristic, that is ubiquitous network access. So the whenever you are saying cloud computing, that means that uh, it is available at each and every place, right? Because it is internet based. Then second is location independent resource pooling. This is quite interesting. That see for Amazon, I have shown you different data centers. Okay, in that map. If it is still open, let me show it to you again. See here. This many different locations are available of the data centers. So whenever I am requesting for any of the AWS service, right, from this Amazon, then I can choose from where I need to have the resources. For example, suppose right now I am in Rajkot, so it may happen that I can choose either this Mumbai data center or maybe Hyderabad data center. Okay, that I want the services from here, but that is not limited or it is not restriction, right? Being in Rajkot, I can take the services from Ohio also, I can take the services from London also, and I can take the services from Europe. In short, from any location, I can take up the cloud services. Then rapid elasticity. This is the most crucial feature or the characteristic of cloud computing. Based on this cloud computing is getting the wide popularity, right? So what is this rapid elasticity? Let us try to understand. See, whenever you are saying that, for example, you have one organization or you are running one company, right? At that time, you are assuming that you will be having around 100 employees. So whatever the IT resources you will be hiring, that will be based on 100 employees, right? Of employees are increasing next year. Your business is growing, number of employees are increasing. So you need to have the multiple resources available to you for that number of employees which are increased, right? So for them also you need to have the services. So or the IT services. So in that case, what will happen if you are using cloud computing? Then it will be very easy for you to. For example, let us put it in simple way instead of business example. That suppose right now you are having this Google Drive available to you, and if you are aware, then this Google is providing only 15 GB of storage to you, right? Now, suppose if you say that your amount of files and amount of photographs and each and everything is increased, and now instead of 15 GB you require 20 GB. So you do not have to purchase anything separate for that. That you put up the request for additional 5 GB, and then from 15 GB is free and additional 5 GB will be provided to you from the same storage services. Okay, so you can rapidly stretch your services available to you. That is what we mean by rapid elasticity. Then measured services. Now this is very important thing, because see here in the attributes we said that costs are based on usage, or here we are saying that IT services are utility like basis. So what do we mean by this? IT services utility like basis, that we have discussed. Okay, but how they will come to know that what amount of data we have used or what amount of resources we are using? So measured services means what? The cloud service providers, that is Amazon, Google, or Microsoft Azure, or anyone else, those who are providing the cloud services, continuously they are monitoring your usage of the services, right? So that they can charge you accordingly. For example, some compute service you hired for 2 hours, because hourly subscription is also possible, monthly subscription is also possible, right? I can have a one virtual computer from cloud for 1 hour, 2 hour, or maybe 1 year, 2 year, 1 month, 2 months, like that. So whatever the amount I am using, that IT or that particular resources, that particular resource monitoring is done by the cloud service provider, so that they can bill accordingly. So measured services means whatever the cloud services are available, all that services are measured, and we will be paying for the usage. Then the next question we need to answer is, who should use it? Either as a user, are you allowed to use, or you are willing to use that? So how to answer this? So you have to just think of that whatever the data is available to me, right? Whether that data is important or not, right? If your data is important, if your files are important, right? Then you check, are you able to maintain, or are you able to provide proper security for your particular data or files? If yes, then there is no need to have the cloud computing resources for you. But if you are weak, or if you are not able to provide security for your files or your data, right? Suppose if you are using Google Photos to store your personal photos, okay, and but you are keeping trust on Google, and you are storing your data in Google Photos. You are storing your personal photos in Google Photos, okay. So once you are doing this, that is what you are having a trust on the security provided by Google, and Google Photos is the cloud computing service. Okay. So you have to just ask yourself, if data is too important, then and you are not able to provide security to your data, then always use the cloud services. Now this is very important, that we are saying that okay, cloud, what is cloud computing, what it is, all that thing we have discussed, but how they will be provided. So cloud, to provide the cloud services, we have the cloud models, right? Cloud models are further divided into two categories. One is delivery models, or somewhere it is referred as service models also. Sorry, just a minute, wait, please. So I was telling about the cloud models. So cloud models are possible in two ways, either delivery models, or it is referred as service models also, and deployment models. These two are the ways in which cloud services can be available. In delivery models or service models, we have software as a service, or in short it is referred as SaaS, then PaaS, that is platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. And in deployment models, we have private, public, hybrid, and community cloud. So all these particular service types and the deployment types we will see one by one. So this is the delivery model or the service model. So we have this triangle: software, platform, and infrastructure as a service. Okay. Then what is it that we will discuss first? See, if you say software as a service, then what is its definition? applications that are enabled for the cloud. Okay, that means whatever the software you are designing or you are developing, right? If that software is working in the cloud environment, then it is said to be a software as a service. An example is Google Docs, Mobile Me, Zoho Office Suite, and many others I have given you in the beginning. That Netflix is there, then Google Drive is there. Okay, so that type of softwares are actually a software as a service. Okay, then platform. Now, suppose if we say that we are having a software, so if you are having a software, then you need some platform to develop it. So this platform as a service is what? It is a platform that enables developers to write applications that run on the cloud, right? For example, if suppose you are writing a code in the Java language, okay, so you might be using different editors for that. Maybe you are using simple Notepad, maybe you are using NetBeans, right? So this type of different uh, platforms are available to develop your, sorry, to write your code. Okay. So same thing is over here that whenever you want to write the softwares for the cloud computing, you will be provided the platform as a service to write the code for test. Okay. And the example for that is Microsoft Azure, Google App Engine, and Force.com. And suppose if I'm writing any software, right? If I'm writing the code for any software, then where I have to write? I need a hardware, I need an infrastructure, right? So that infrastructure is what? It is a highly scaled, redundant, and shared computing infrastructure accessible using internet technologies. That means what? Whatever the hardware resources you are using, all that hardware resources are accessible through internet only. Okay, and the example is Amazon EC2, S3, etc. So Amazon EC2 is the compute service. Here you will be provided the server, that is Elastic Compute Cloud, and S3 is storage service, simple storage service. Okay, then other examples are Rackspace, Moso offering, Sun's cloud services, Terramark cloud offering. Okay, so, in short, whatever the hardware is required, that hardware will be provided through the internet, right? In the virtual environment, that is infrastructure. To write the code, we have platform as a service, and the software which is developed and running in cloud environment, that is the software as a service. Now, here, this thing is quite interesting. See, above software, it is written as in blue box, maturing, platform is in nascent mode, and infrastructure is evolving, right? That means what? That software as a service is available in the matured way. That means what? Software as a service is now popular and it is well established. Everyone is using it. Being a non-technical person, also people are using Google Photos, Google Drive, and everything. Okay, so software as a service is already mature. Then platform as a service and infrastructure as a service, they are in nascent or evolving mode. That is what nascent mode means. It is in the beginning stage. Platform as a service, it is not fully up to the mark, right? Or it is not fully popular, but it is in the beginning mode. So it is coming up slowly. Same way, infrastructure as a service is also evolving. It is also coming up in the particular maturity stage. So this is about delivery or the service model. So three: software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Then the deployment model. So to understand deployment models, it is quite easy. You just see this three type of vehicles which we are using for transport: bus, our personal car, and a taxi. So same thing is applicable to the different types of clouds. So bus is public cloud. That means you know that bus services can be used by anyone, and it, right, same way cloud is also accessible to everyone. So the cloud which is accessible to everyone, it is a public cloud. Private cloud, like a own car, so it will be owned by a single person. So private cloud means what? Whatever the compute services will be available, that will be used for the personal purpose. Okay, and that services are owned by a particular company. They are not going to use any uh, particular public cloud. Then taxi, it is a hybrid cloud. It is like a car, but it is used by other people also. It is rented. Okay, so here see, what is the difference among these three: public, private, and hybrid cloud? See, if you say uh, as a user, right now around, suppose maybe uh, the number of different participants which are available, they are 62. Okay, So whatever the 62 participants are there, for example, all 62 might be using Google Photos to store your photos. So whatever that Google Photo is there, you can consider it as an example, which is available in software available in public cloud. Okay, means public cloud is accessible to everyone. Then if you talk about private cloud, for example, if I want to have my own service, I want to have some business, and for my business purpose, I am installing one server at my office. Okay, then that particular server will become the private cloud for me, and that will not be accessible by someone else. Okay, like Google Photos, it is accessible by everyone. This private cloud will not be accessible by anyone except the particular owner of that particular cloud. So that is why it is private cloud. And like a taxi, you can have hybrid cloud also. Okay, that suppose if you say taxi, then it is like a car. But it is a private thing, but it can be owned by anyone. No, anyone can rent it. Okay, so in hybrid cloud, what happens? For example, initially I am having one private cloud. Okay, in that private cloud, what I am doing, I am having certain infrastructure. So I will install some specific server with some specific storage capacity and all. Now suppose my business is growing. Okay, so what can I do? Instead of having the particular services from private cloud, I will extend the services available in private cloud to public cloud. Okay, so the combination of these two, I'm using private cloud at my office. Along with that, I'm using additional services from public cloud also. So that becomes the combination of these two, which is referred as hybrid cloud. Okay, let us put it in some simple way. Suppose I am running one business. Okay, so for business, I can have two type of data. One is accounts related data, which is a private data. Okay, so that I can store in private cloud. But suppose certain product related data, I am having some manufacturing unit, and I am having the different products and that product details, it can be accessible by anyone because there is no confidentiality in that. I have to sell the product. So whatever the product details are there, that I have to put it in a public cloud instead of putting that in a private cloud because it is non-confidential. Okay, so you can combine these two services. Then you can take up one more case like this. That suppose right now I am having 50 employees. Okay, now all of a sudden my business is growing, and maybe suppose it is a seasonal business. Okay, so in particular season, instead of 50 employees, I may be needing 100 employees for a temporary period. So I will increase the 50 employees. So for 50 more employees and that 50 temporary employees, I am not going to have the my own private services. What I will do, I will take up the public services for that. So in that case, uh, I can have a combination of private and public cloud. So in that, I can have hybrid cloud. Okay. And along with that one, another cloud model I told, that is community cloud. So what do we mean by this? So this thing you can understand very easily from one feature which was recently, not exact recent, but in last few months it was added in WhatsApp. That is community. Okay, so what was the purpose of that community? That whatever the like-minded people or like-minded group are there, they will be combined in a community and then they will be sharing the messages over there. So same thing is available in community cloud, that the different organizations with the similar goals and similar objectives, they can share the common infrastructure. Okay, that's what we mean by community cloud. So the next thing is, if cloud computing is so great, why isn't everyone doing it? Now, this is very important that whatever we discuss from that, it gives a view that cloud computing is very good, it is a great, then why everyone is not using it, right? So in that case, we can very simply say that whatever the cloud services are available, you are not known to that. Okay, what is happening in background, you are not aware. So many people are not do not want to take the risk. That's why they are not using it. For example, if I say Google Photos, you are storing your photos, you are having a trust. Okay, nothing will happen if I store that in Google. It will not get leaked, right? But where your photos are stored by Google, in which particular network route it is traversing. Suppose you are storing from your mobile, So where that particular data, your photos will reach, whether in America's data center or Europe's data center, where photos will reach or where they are going to be stored, which route is going to be taken. That background process is not known to you. So many people do not trust cloud computing for this purpose. That whatever the data or things they are using, right, in cloud computing, so background things are not known to them. So sometimes it is referred that cloud is acting as a black box, right? So where you are not having its inside idea what is going on. So many people are hesitant to use that. These are the few examples of cloud storage providers. Then the use of the cloud providers provides a number of opportunities. Now, I think this is beyond the scope of discussion for this webinar. So I'm not touching it up as of now. This is again a possibility that if you are using cloud computing, then somewhere you will have a backlash or somewhere you will have a failure. So these are the few points which are saying that somewhere you feel that the cloud services are not safe. Okay. So, because what will happen whenever you are storing, then suppose someone will monopolize that, Google or IBM, that company, that okay, now you have used this service, now you have to pay for it. Initially, they make it free, then they will make it chargeable, they increase the charges because very limited players are available for cloud service. And the cloud in different data centers, it is very costly affair. Okay, so this is one threat. Then then they are saying that you have to access it in some particular format only, right? So the few questions are there which still needs to be addressed. So still the research is going on this in the field of cloud computing. So some people do not opt for cloud computing also to the various reasons as mentioned over here. Then one another critical point is that suppose uh, you know that different countries are having different IT policies, right? So suppose in India, suppose I am taking a session from Rajkot, right? Now, if I store the data from here, I store my photos in Google Photos from here, and suppose that photos are going to be stored in US. Okay, so which country's policies will be applicable to me, either of India or of US? So that will be a big question. So there many things are going on in background in or they are getting resolved one by one. These are the few advantages of using cloud computing. In that, very important thing is this one, that instant software updates. You know that software industry is updating the regularly. Okay, many technologies are also changing. So once whatever the software you are using, after a year or two, it might be outdated, right? Some latest versions might have come in that. So once you are using it personally, then you have to update it on your own. But if you are using cloud facilities, right, then automatic updates will be taken care, and always you will be provided with the updated software. So you need not worry about when the software will be updated and all that thing, right? Then remaining are quite easily understandable. Reduce software cost and all, improve performance and everything. So this I am not going in detail, but based on our discussion, you can easily understand this. Then some disadvantages are also there. That main crucial thing is you require constant internet connection. Without internet connection, you cannot have any cloud services. And along with that, speed of the internet is also very important. If it is slow, then you cannot use the services properly. You require proper speed for your cloud services. Okay, so the few others are very simple to understand, so I'm not going through that. So at the end, what we can conclude. So it is always advisable to have the cloud services, right? As we have said earlier that it is better to rent to, right? So here, what are the resources are there? What are the servers you require for your business? whatever the data storage devices you require for your business. Instead of buying it, use it in the form of a cloud service. Then it will be very effective for you. And suppose if you are a novice or if you are a beginner, you are starting a new company, right? So it won't be feasible for you to spare too much of amount for having different infrastructure in the form of IT hardware, right? Or the IT infrastructure. It is always better to go for cloud services, because all the services which you require for your business, either servers or storage devices or network devices, all can be availed through the cloud services. So that's it about this uh, fundamentals of cloud computing. So I hope very few questions which might have been clear to you, that what is cloud, what are its benefits, what are its features, what are its attributes, how it is utility-based service, right? Okay. And what are its models, service models, and deployment models? So based on this, if you are interested, then you can definitely opt for this cloud computing field, because it's getting too much opportunities available, and it is a coming up field. So research opportunities are also there in this cloud computing. Okay. So thank you all. If you have any queries, you can please share that in chat box so that I can answer it. Kalpesh sir, any queries? Okay, so few queries are coming up. Let us take it one by one. Uh, Mr. Ganapati has asked, is it on-demand basis EC2, right? So, see, on-demand basis means what? If you are requiring that services, okay, then you have to hire that services from that particular cloud service provider. So yes, it is on demand based, but it is again self service based. So you have to select the EC2 instances and all, that which EC2 instance you want, from which availability zone and which location you want it, right? So all that thing you need to specify whenever you are purchasing. Mr. Subhash has asked, what is IAS pass? Okay, so IaaS is infrastructure as a service, PaaS is platform as a service, which I think I already covered, and third is SaaS, that is software as a service. Then again, Mr. Ganapati said, what are the different data types used in cloud computing? So I think, Mr. Ganapati, this question is as of now out of the scope for this discussion. If you have any queries, then here I am right. This question we can discuss in person. I'm writing my email address. You can ask on this. Mr. Ganpati, you can put up your queries in this mail. I will be happy to answer you. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else?
I think,
Okay.
sir, all the questions are over. So
Yes.
let me share my screen and
Yes, Kalpita, please.
yeah. Please tell me when my screen is visible. I hope it is
Yes, yes,
visible.
yes.
Yeah. So these are the list of our upcoming webinars. Next Saturday, that is on 3rd June. by Dr. Jaipal.
Professor, your voice is breaking. Hello.
Hello, am I audible? Sunil, sir?
Yes, you are now audible.
Okay. Uh, from where the voice was gone, I don't know actually what happened. Some network issue may
So I
happen.
think 3rd June you said, after that nothing was audible.
Okay, okay. Let me share the screen again and let me revisit the scene. Yeah. I hope my screen is visible. So on
Yes.
3rd June, we do have a webinar on data visualization with R programming by Professor Rushika Bhatt at 11 a.m. On 10th June, we have Basics of AI with latest trends and applications by Dr. Divyakant Meva. And on 24th June, we do have webinar on PLSQL subprograms with standalone processes, functions, and packages by Dr. Jaipal C. Gohil on 24th June at 11 a.m. We are also planning to have a panel discussion on data sciences. So it may be in between somewhere. Please be in touch with our social media platforms. At Facebook, we are at Marwadi MCA, and Instagram, we do have Marwadi Education FCA. Please like and follow on both these platforms. On LinkedIn, we are available at Marwadi FCA, and YouTube channel FCA Marwadi University. Our today's webinar's recording will be available on this channel by tomorrow or Monday. These are the courses offered by Faculty of Computer Applications, Marwadi University. We do have UG courses like ECA honors as per NEP pattern for cloud computing and cybersecurity specialization. BSc IT is there and BSc data science is there. For PG, we do have MCA, MSc cybersecurity and cyber law, as well as MSc data science. 3 courses are available. Thank you all from my side. Let me share the feedback link so that you people can give us the feedback for today's webinar. If you have any queries, Sunil sir has already given his email ID so that you can send him the queries. I have given the Google form link where you can give the feedbacks from your side for this today's webinar. Thank you, all of you. Thanks from my side. For upcoming seminars or webinars, you will get the link to your WhatsApp groups as well as on our social media platforms. So kindly be in touch over there so that you will get the links over there in the registration for the next webinars. So thank you all of you, and thank you Dr. Sunil Bajeja for the valuable guidance in the field of cloud computing. Let me close this webinar. Thank you all of you. Requesting all of you to submit the feedback so that it can help us to improve ourselves. Thank you all of you.